Ever encountered someone, a guy usually, who drifts aimlessly through existence, dodging commitments and accountability, yet his charisma makes folks overlook it all? He might be that buddy who skimps on splitting the bill, the coworker who sidesteps tough talks, or the child who stays forever a boy instead of stepping up. This pattern has a label: Peter Pan syndrome, a subtle heartbreak that slips by undetected, portraying a fellow who clings to youth not from playfulness, but driven by anxiety, bewilderment, or lingering scars. To grasp it, let's pause and ponder the essence of maturing into manhood. It's beyond just years piling on, beyond physical power or even cultural norms. It's embracing duties, summoning bravery against life's unavoidable trials, and committing to create, safeguard, and give back. The one who stalls in boyhood shuns all that. He hovers in endless youthfulness, where pleasure trumps obligation, whims trump thoughtfulness, and liberty gets twisted into recklessness. Music. In the 1980s, experts in psychology coined the term Peter Pan syndrome for males showing ongoing childishness in feelings and daily matters. These aren't mere slackers or shirkers. They're frequently caught in habits that seem secure compared to full-blown adulthood. Here, security means evasion, a rejection of dealing with hurt, stumbling, or the unease of ripening. Still, the twist cuts deep. Sidestepping maturity usually brings more agony, not relief. Ponder that. Maturing isn't chasing flawlessness, it's owning up. It's examining your path, decisions, and duties, declaring, to quote Tsuru. The fellow who ducks it, forever skirting maturity's borders, ends up with a half-lived existence. Connections stay superficial, jobs plateau, inner development freezes, and quietly underneath, a subtle gloom starts to settle in, one hidden from others, but sharply sensed by him alone. Why does someone hang in this limbo? No one explanation fits all. For some, role models were missing. Dads might have vanished or stayed distant emotionally. Others got overprotected from struggles, missing the insights only suffering imparts. Then there are those scarred by past blows, who, in dodging openness, also dodge progress. But the saddest trigger is profound dread. Dread of messing up, dread of burdens, dread of facing the world solo when it craves substance over sparkle and smarts. This isn't mere jest or a brief stage. It's a gradual, stealthy draining of promise. Picture a talented, driven soul brimming with vision. But he wavers, he delays, deflects, loses himself in distractions. Chances slip away. Each postponed step turns into baggage. He shoulders it breezily, assuring himself he's youthful yet, unbound, still sorting life. The world won't pause, though. Time marches on, impartial and relentless, tallying the toll in hush. Peter Pan syndrome spreads its waves, too. Spouses, kids, kin, and pals shoulder the load of this stalled evolution. Loved ones manage not just everyday chores, but the inner work that ought to be divided. Offspring might raise with a dad who's there in body but gone in spirit, engaging yet flaky, fun yet unsteady. And deep down, the man puzzles over why everything rings empty, why delight fades fast, why achievement dangles forever beyond grasp. Right there hides the sharpest paradox. Growing up isn't penalty or bars. Oddly, it's the route to true liberty. Embracing manhood unlocks the strength to mold your destiny, own your paths, and connect profoundly sans terror. The eternal youth imagines he's fleeing limits. Really, he's fleeing release. The kind born from self-control, valor, and genuineness. Even brain science sheds light on this. The prefrontal cortex, handling choices, self-restraint, and forward thinking, keeps maturing till the mid-20s. Yet inner growth surpasses mere wiring. It's shaped by trials, introspection, and tests. Guys who push back against them often stay locked in knee-jerk modes, drifting day by day sans vision, failing to weave old insights into new foresight. Recall one acquaintance of mine, sharp-minded and quick with words, respected widely, but fickle in loyalty. Gigs endured mere months, romances rarely hit a full year, schemes stayed half-baked. Outwardly, he looked liberated, unmoored, vibrant. Inside, though, unease bubbled low, a nagging feeling that days were ebbing, that his evasion of unease left him empty-handed. When at last he sought to face, From his observations, though the hour was advanced, he started to perceive a fundamental reality that had lingered unnoticed all along. Personal development isn't a choice for those seeking a vibrant existence. This issue carries a societal layer as well. Our contemporary world, brimming with diversions, quick rewards, and infinite choices, has cultivated an environment ripe for extended immaturity. The boundary separating youth from maturity has grown indistinct. Online platforms amplify short-lived focus, glorify defiance free of repercussions, and frequently idealize the notion of timeless adolescence. It often seems less daunting to drift amid constant diversions than to grapple with the duties of crafting one's path. Nevertheless, the draw toward significance, the yearning for genuine bonds, and the subtle promptings of inner morality cannot be hushed forever. Escaping this condition demands neither ease nor comfort. It starts with candid introspection. One must examine their existence with unflinching honesty, confronting errors, routines, and anxieties. It calls for accountability viewed not as a burden, but as an entry to independence. And it involves welcoming unease as a guide instead of a foe. Development typically emerges from modest, intentional steps, upholding obligations, tackling apprehensions, establishing limits, and opting for uprightness despite its impracticality. Thinkers in philosophy and psychology emphasize that adulthood hinges less on years lived and more on heightened perception. It represents the deliberate choice to align daily actions with core principles, confronting life's unavoidable hardships and accepting both the gift and weight of self-determination. The sorrow of this perpetual youth affliction lies in how countless males delay this process endlessly, mistaking immaturity for liberty. In reality, the liberty they crave awaits beyond the threshold of maturity. They hesitate to cross it. While ensnared in this limbo, reality marches onward relentlessly. Peers progress, professions flourish, households change, and existence with its impartial indifference advances unyieldingly. The individual who holds fast to endless juvenility gradually encounters the fallout. Foregone chances, fractured ties, and a deepening feeling of unfulfillment. Yet, transformation remains possible at any stage. Recognition, however delayed, marks the initial stride toward change. Even minor displays of bravery build up over time. Confronting unease, selecting duty, and adopting genuineness gradually rewire neural pathways, alter behaviors, and redirect one's course. This affliction proves heartbreaking, not due to inherent hopelessness in these individuals, but because evasion breeds unnecessary hardship. Hardship that might yield to the serene poise, fortitude, and satisfaction derived from realizing one's capabilities. Thus, the inquiry persists for any male who sees echoes of this in his own story. How much longer will you dwell in the fringes of immaturity? How long can wit and evasion stand in for bravery and dedication? The path to manhood unfolds neither straightforwardly nor without ache. Still, it is deeply human, abundant in potential, and in the end, emancipating. Attaining manhood isn't confined to one instant. It is an ongoing revelation, a constant balance between impulses and restraint, ease and trial. It initiates with decisions that appear minor yet hold profound impact. Settling obligations promptly, fulfilling vows, tackling dialogues one prefers to sidestep. Such elements form the bedrock of integrity. Each choice to behave honorably, even in obscurity, bolsters the structure of maturity. Psychological endurance forms yet another vital pillar. Males mired in endless youth frequently sideline feelings they consider cumbersome, apprehension, sorrow, humiliation, or remorse. Rather, they seek escape through wit, fresh stimuli, or transient joys. However, when feelings are recognized and woven into one's being, they evolve into wellsprings of strength, not frailty. To confront unease, to articulate it, to experience it wholly, this embodies bravery. And bravery, practiced in incremental ways, fosters routine. Routine, in turn, molds one's essence. This condition warps interpersonal dynamics, too. An individual shirking duty struggles to connect profoundly with others. Bonds stay shallow. Romance turns provisional, and guidance remains elusive. Those nearby may tire of vacillation, undependability, or hesitation. Profound ties necessitate maturity, the readiness to expose vulnerability, own actions, and remain engaged. Lacking these, even the most engaging person ends up solitary, craving closeness yet incapable of nurturing it. Learning, in its widest interpretation, exerts a quiet influence. Existence delivers instruction ceaselessly, yet solely attentive souls absorb it. Males who tarry in juvenility frequently overlook these teachings. They regard blunders as nuisances instead of mentors, and reversals as barriers rather than prospects. Watching the world, pondering encounters, and weaving in wisdom constitute growth. They convert defeat from a load into a foundation, a means for purposefully forging one's nature. Time may well be the supreme instructor and the harshest. Each instant evaded in pursuit of development slips away forever, unforgiving and final. The fleeting allure of youth is often idealized beyond measure. Allure wanes, possibilities dwindle, and vitality wanes over time. The more a man lingers in patterns of evasion, the more arduous the ascent to genuine maturity appears. Nevertheless, insight, no matter how delayed, serves as the catalyst for transformation. Acknowledging one's habitual evasions, owning up to earlier sidesteps, and pledging intentional development can redirect one's course, despite the challenging terrain. This challenge carries a deeper philosophical layer as well. The poet Rainer Maria Rilke observed that existence unfolds in the direction we live it, only to be comprehended in retrospect. A man resisting maturation attempts to dwell in reverse, holding fast to the comforts of youthful nostalgia. But the now slips away from him. Existence, by contrast, propels ahead, requiring immersion in the real, bravery against the unknown, and readiness to withstand unease. It is through wholehearted immersion in the here and now, with duty willingly shouldered, that existence unveils its depth. Introspection emerges as a vital instrument. For the man pursuing evolution, self-observation without critique is key. He should detect urges, routines, and anxieties. Probing inquiries prove essential. In what areas do I evade reality? Which behaviors shield me from unease but sabotage my existence? What duties have I delayed, and what toll will they exact if ignored? Candid responses seldom come lightly, yet they light the route to ripeness. Societal legends frequently veil the weight of this odyssey. Narratives glorify perpetual adolescence, defiant figures, and unburdened explorers. However, the core reality seldom surfaces. Absent evolution, the splendor of existence remains partial. Liberty devoid of accountability devolves into disorder. Enjoyment lacking direction turns hollow. Appeal minus authenticity turns shallow. Authentic masculinity isn't the rejection of delight, but its fusion with obligation, passion with restraint, impulsiveness with answerability. Guidance from mentors can prove pivotal. A man drawing wisdom from predecessors who traversed similar trails acquires viewpoint, understanding, and direction. Witnessing how they handled duties, sorrow, triumphs, and setbacks offers blueprints for endurance and integrity. Yet, such guidance demands modesty, the openness to heed, internalize, and implement teachings instead of just appreciating them from afar. The sorrow of Peter Pan syndrome extends beyond mere childishness. It represents the gradual decay of promise. Each postponed decision, each dodge accumulates into an existence half embraced. The world honors those who engage, who confront unease, and who foster virtue. Those who dawdle in adolescence frequently end up as spectators, regretting chances they grasped but never claimed. Still, optimism persists. Evolution remains within reach at any stage. The man who confronts his evasions can reclaim control, methodically swapping diversions for purposeful routines. Each purposeful action, each honored pledge, each met dread, each nurtured practice generates drive. Change unfolds gradually, subtle in the instant, but irrefutable across years. In essence, maturity is a palette, not a confinement. The man who welcomes accountability uncovers not limits, but liberation, liberty to mold his destiny, to connect profoundly with people, to chase significance, and to forge a lasting impact. Evolution isn't a penalty, it is a summons to exist wholly, boldly, and genuinely. The path isn't straightforward or free of trials. Reversals, spells of uncertainty, and lures to withdraw into security will arise. Yet every advance toward accountability, uprightness, and sincere emotion strengthens the bedrock of ripeness. Gradually, what once weighed oppressively turns instinctive. The load of evolution shifts into the fulfillment of competence, expertise, and dignity. The man selecting this route doesn't just sidestep the plight of endless adolescence. He savors the deep boon of realizing full humanity. He masters existence's intricacies, accepts flaws, and harmonizes drive with empathy. His bonds intensify, his aim sharpens, and his role in the world shifts from haphazard to purposeful. In the end, the tale of Peter Pan syndrome serves as a reflection for any man pausing at growth's doorway. It poses, quote Wakhuan, "The decision rests with you. It is subdued, frequently solitary, and far from simple, but it is also deeply human and infinitely gratifying. Existence overlooks evasion, yet it celebrates valor. Each modest gesture of accountability, each welcome of unease, and each vow to genuineness constructs an existence beyond mere endurance. It constructs an existence rich with purpose, and that conceivably stands as manhood's purest gauge. Not years, riches, or appeal, but the valor to face oneself, to meet existence with uprightness, and to expand into one's complete capacity. The journey is Cha. Demanding though it may be, this journey holds profound beauty. The individual who embraces personal development uncovers liberty, richness, and meaning. He realizes that maturity isn't a final destination, but an ongoing evolution, a blank slate for intentional living, profound connections, and creating a lasting legacy. Through this endeavor, he attains what every man yearns for deep down, the serene fulfillment of an existence fully embraced without postponement, and the assurance that he has evolved into the person he was destined to become.